in, so we're gonna stop talking about nothing.
I should probably get into Hearthstone then, huh?
Probably a good idea.
That would have been a good life choice about 30 minutes ago. So now it's kind of a formality, but yeah, you should get in here.
I'm in. I was in 30 minutes ago, then we had a break.
Okay, so we're gonna see Leumer ban out the mage, and LordForehead is gonna ban out the druid.
Druid. That's interesting to me. Shaman is historically pretty good against Druid, yeah?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Does the rest of his lineup?
Priest can struggle with it.
Alright. So Leumer, you said banned out the mage.
He did.
So he...
yeah, he did.
He is licking his chops at the opportunity to play both Priest and Shaman in the same conquest. Play against it, is what I mean.
Yep, so we're going to see Leumer with Warlock, Mage, and Paladin from this point forward, and LordForehead with Hunter, Priest, and Shaman from this point forward.
Have they gotten to a match yet?
They have not started game 1 yet, no. They are currently choosing their first decks.
And it looks like they have decided.
Yep, here we go. So Leumer comes out on his own Mage, and LordForehead comes out on his own Priest. This is a very interesting matchup. I wasn't expecting either of these classes yet. LordForehead pulls out a Chromagus and an Emperor Thorson, and then we see Forgotten Torch, Blizzard, and Mad Scientist in the hand of Leumer. I think we can assume that's a Freeze Mage. And LordForehead picks up a Twilight Drake in his mulligan, so I think this is some form of Dragon Priest. We do have a Freeze Mage expert in our midst, an Elsa role player. There's a certain someone in our panel who likes to sing Let It Go as he ladders with Freeze Mage. His name is Imbolc, and we're going to let him break down the Freeze Mage here. So how's this hand look to you, Brian?
His hand's pretty good. I've not gotten a chance to play around with Forgotten Torch. It's something that looks like it definitely is worth playing around with in Freeze. See a lot of possibility there. Not something I've got to play with yet, but I'll be interested to see how he uses the card and just how well it does. You see Colite Oracle, which is something that you don't see in Freeze very much. It was popular, months and months ago. So this just might be a, something that Leumer prefers.
So is that in place of a Loot Hoarder then?
That could be in place of a Loot Hoarder or maybe an Acolyte.
I think I've seen them mostly in place of Acolyte. They kind of serve the same function as both being like 3 drops with card draw.
And one's just instant. Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
We did see Forgotten Torch remove the Northshire Cleric, which feels like, in this matchup, that's probably about as much as you can ask it to do with the first half of that card. So we'll have a 3-mana Roaring Torch, which is essentially a fireball, stuffed into Leumer's deck.
The not very Forgotten Torch.
This is just gonna, with that Colite, now this Twilight Drake is loving that.
Yeah, that is a massive Twilight Drake.
He decides to play that here, which seems like a good choice.
Twilight Drake's an interesting inclusion in Dragon Priest. We don't see it very often. Usually it's just cut in favor of higher impact cards like Twilight Guardian, like Dark Cultists, like cards that are going to operate a little bit quicker than Twilight Drake is. But here it's a fantastic play.
There's also, those are 2 Thought Steals in his hand, right?
They are. This is a very slow deck.
Fairly unusual in Dragon Priest, I believe. Historically, this is heavily favored for the Priest, right?
For the Priest, really?
I'm sorry. I don't mean the Priest. For the Mage.
Oh.
Yes. For the Priest.
Yeah.
And we see kind of one reason for that here is the Doomsayer is there's not a lot of answers from the Priest side usually for a Doomsayer.
I believe that Thought Stole only hit 1 card. Yeah, it only took a Flame Strike, from what I can see.
Yes.
Now, is this hand worth Emperoring? I mean, you're not seeing a lot of low mana spells to hit Antonidas with, but you are lowering Antonidas himself. So tell me, do you think that's worth doing?
I may have intellected and try to get a little bit more. The intellect we've seen 1 Scientist, but it looks like he should still have some other cards. the same time, like, if you can get it down on empty board on curve, you know, he was able to lower a few things. It wasn't super impactful, but getting the Antonitis down was good. And you know, and you're also hoping he doesn't have an answer because then it just game gets out of hand. Um, so it seems like a fine play there.
Talk to me
I
about
believe
this Doomsayer. Is this just a tempo play to kind of buy time, force your opponent not to play any minions onto this board?
Yeah, and I wonder too if he will. I wonder if he's trying to set up maybe an Antonitis, and I think it's a little bit early. You don't have anything else to really other than the Ice Lance, so I might have tried to wait because you have the Cornucopia as well. I might have
Mm-hmm.
tried to wait and get a little bit more value out of the Doomsayer and maybe set up a better Antonitis or Alex on an empty board. But it looks like he just values the tempo right
Oh
here.
gosh, we see mind control, and that can be very problematic for the mage.
And I do believe we have lost mange for a few moments, so just be me and Cassie for now.
Oh, that's okay. He won't tell us about how he got Golden Paladin by playing Zoo. We're still trying to confirm that, and I believe Blizzard is now investigating him, so that may have been his ban hammer.
So yeah, we do see that he's wanting to set up the Antonitis on the empty board here with the Ice Lance.
And having already seen one Shadow Word Death, that's probably not the worst play, because you're hoping your opponent can't cleanly deal with it. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it does have the second one, so we're only going to get one Fireball off this Archmage.
Yeah. So I think that was the whole Doomsayer there was his plan was just to be able to play the Antonitis on an empty board. I think only having an Ice Lance to generate a Fireball, I think may have pulled the trigger a little early, but like you said, we're able to see the second death that he wasn't going to get much value. If he doesn't have the second death, it becomes a really hard card to deal with empty board from the priest, and so this is interesting. This is
Leumer is he's going for it. He feels like Pyroblast, and I guess he's hoping to draw some more Frostbolts to get a little bit more. He's got 16 in hand, but it's going to take him 2 turns to do that, so he didn't set up lethal.
Yeah, he has the torch, so I'm guessing he will probably be looking to maybe play that next turn. I don't know if he maybe will Power Blast first and then play the torch. I guess it depends on what he top decks here. So yeah, he's going really aggressive, and it's not under any pressure, not under a lot of pressure from the priest. So just going in there. Kind of really takes away Alex from having any value left here.
Yeah, and the Dragon
Also-
deck, meanwhile, is just drawing into huge cards that are going to simply win the game. Interesting that it looks like Lemur's playing double Forgotten Torch because Thoughtsteal picked up the second one. So I'm wondering what cards were cut to see both of those go into Lemur's deck.
So it looks, let's see, be able to heal up for. Looks like that's it.
Yeah, that Frostbolt's gonna keep LordForehead in lethal range, and Leumer was able to sneak this one out, hitting that Frostbolt to pick up just enough burn damage to seal this game.
Yeah. The max that Forehead would be able to hit.
I wonder.
Are you fucking serious? Well, we lost our Skype call, everybody. So, LordForehead is going to do a lot of damage, and Imbolc has also picked up on we're on hold. And it appears, Lemur's going to take game 1. I'm flying solo. Lemur's going to take game 1. Gets his mage out of the way in the freeze mage variety. And so now we have to kind of ask ourselves, oh, are we back? Maybe we are back.
So we see Lemur Mage takes down Forehead's Priest.
And he now
Sorry,
has to win with Warlock and Paladin, and Leumer still has Priest, or not Leumer, LordForehead still has Priest, which we know is a very slow, dragon-oriented Priest, and then Shaman and Hunter, which we haven't seen yet. I actually really like Handlock if Leumer is proficient and wants to bring it, because Handlock will do really good against that Priest, but I would want to save it till the very end. I think Paladin's your safe bet here. Paladin's good against pretty much anything remaining. He is going to bring out the Paladin. He is going to find a Hunter. And so we'll see what kind of matchup we're at. Alright, so it's a mid-range Paladin. And that Hunter could be a hybrid, it could be a face, it could be mid-range based on the 3 cards coming out so far.
Here, I think if it's Space Hunter, which with the Worgen Infiltrator does kind of signal that this is likely a Face Hunter, and with the Leper Gnome.
And Leumer keeps Consecration and Sludge Belcher without any 1 or 2 drops in his hand. Definitely feels very risky, and it didn't pay off. He was very much punished for doing that. He's going to struggle to catch up to this board without the Hunter dealing a ton of damage to him first.
I feel like Base Hunter is favored in this matchup.
I would agree.
If the Paladin has Healbot, that helps a little bit. Like if you don't have Healbot, it becomes really tough to win. Healbot can give you a little bit better chance, but I feel like the Base Hunter here will.
Oh, and the muster for battle comes down just in time for Unleash. There's going to be a lot of damage coming at Leumer's face here. He's going to need to find some healing.
Yeah.
That Sludge Belcher looks good, but we're still a ways off of him coming down.
Yeah. We do see the Quartermaster, but that's also 2 turns off as well. So.
Mm-hmm. He'll have the Consecration, but that's also... he can't even Consecrate next turn.
Yeah.
But LordForehead's not going to take advantage with his Unleash. I feel like Unleash is there specifically because Muster for Battle exists. I don't know when else you're going to want to do it. Unless your opponent plays a second Muster, which he may be tempted into doing. Having not seen Unleash the Hounds yet, maybe you could do it. Like trade off both your guys, have Explosive Trap kill the 3rd, and then re-muster.